What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Titanfall 2 on BlackTideTV. This is the second video of the day. If you missed my first video, which was basically final impressions from level 1 to 10, the first week of the Titanfall 2 pre-alpha, it will be linked in the description down below in the card in the top right corner, as well as a bunch of other Titanfall videos. So, with this video, we're going to be talking about the weapons in the game. In my final impressions video that I did earlier, I neglected the weapons. I said that I wanted to make a full video focused entirely on the weapons because there's a bunch of them, and I wanted to talk about all of the different kind of weapons that we see in the pre-alpha, because a lot of these weapons are very special. They're very different from standard weapons in a standard shooter. They're not just different variations on fire rate and damage. There's actually a lot of weapons that act very differently in this pre-alpha, and I wanted to run down each and every one of them very quickly in this video. So we've only got about 12 minutes in this video, so I'm going to try not to get out of hand talking about one specific weapon for too long, but no promises. There's a lot of weapons in this game that I picked up and just instantly fell in love with. So starting off with the assault rifles, the R201 carbine. By the way, just a disclaimer before I actually start this, I never played Titanfall 1. I'm a PlayStation player at my core, and this game was originally an Xbox exclusive, so if any of these games returned from Titanfall 1, let me know in the comment section down below, but I'm pretty sure they would remake all their guns again, so I think I'm pretty much in the clear for this video. But let me know if any of these guns are making a resurface from the original Titanfall game in the comments down below, and let's get started. So the R201 carbine is the only assault rifle available in the pre-alpha, and it is amazing. This is the #1 weapon you're going to see on the battlefield. It is, well, it's on the very first class that you actually get. It's on the front rifleman, and most people just pick the first class they have when they're trying on a new game. So it is the #1 weapon for that reason. It's also the #1 weapon used in the pre-alpha. I keep wanting to say beta, but in the pre-alpha, because it's just amazing. This is a very good assault rifle. It's very balanced between damage and accuracy and fire rate. It's just a really great assault rifle. I think this could actually end up being the OP assault rifle of this game. Normally in shooter games like this, online shooters, there's always one gun that stands out above all the rest. That's generally just better at all around kind of things. Like, a lot of guns will specialize in one thing. They'll be really good at this, but trash at everything else. The R201 carbine is one of those weapons that's good at pretty much everything. And this thing is pretty crazy. I've been sniped with it. I've been taken out at close range with it. It's very powerful. And clearly, like, you probably already use it. So I don't have to recommend that you use this thing, but it's just really good. And I expect to see a lot more of it when the main game comes out. Moving into SMGs, the only SMG that we have between level 1 and 10, which is what I'm reviewing today, 10 and 15 will be next weekend when those levels are unlocked. The only SMG between level 1 and 10 is the car. And the car is, well, it's pretty good. It's called the Consistent Recoil SMG. Well, that's what it's described as in the menus, and I pretty much would agree with that. It's very easy to use at long ranges. I've been sniping people with this car pretty good on whatever that map is. Not the one in the city that you're seeing right now, but the other map where it's, I can't remember the names of these maps, but the one that's out in the kind of like the wild, where it's like this really long range sight lines on that map. I can snipe some people pretty well with the car. This thing is very good. It's very high accuracy, and it's got a decent amount of damage for that high accuracy. You can still put an enemy down in like 3 shots. So this thing is very powerful, and it's definitely worth using as well. One thing about the car that I didn't like is the actual hollow sight that you can get unlocked for it. I much prefer the factory issue stock sights. Moving into the next set of weapons, because the alternator, of course, is unlocked at level 13. Light machine guns, we have both of them unlocked at the beginning of the game. Well, actually, the LStar, I think you have to get to like level 5 or something like that to unlock. I'm not sure. I'm at level 10, so I have everything unlocked, and it doesn't tell you, like, it doesn't keep it up there what level you unlocked it at. So I don't really know. If you guys wanted to comment that in the comment section down below to help people out or something, be my guest. But I have all the weapons unlocked, starting with, in the LMG section, the Spitfire. This one is unlocked from the get-go. You just get this one given to you. And the Spitfire is very powerful as well. All of these weapons are very powerful. I should just stop saying that, because all the weapons in this game, like I said in, I believe, my very first Titanfall 2 video, the weapons in this game are Infinity Ward weapons. They're clearly made by Respawn Entertainment, the original makers of the Infinity Ward games. Back when Modern Warfare first came out, the Call of Duty series, The weapons were all very powerful, and a lot of people didn't like that. I personally liked it a lot, but the weapons were all so balanced because they were all overpowered. There wasn't one specific weapon that was overpowered. Every single gun could kill you in 3 or 4 shots, so there wasn't anything that you had to use to be the best. And that's what this game definitely feels like. It definitely feels like every single gun is good. Like, as long as you're using it in the proper area, in the proper setting, you're not going to have a problem using any of these weapons, except for, well, maybe one, and that's a secondary weapon. We'll get to that in a bit. But the Spitfire, it's kind of a slower fire rate weapon. It's definitely slower, but it's more powerful. This thing will down enemies in 2 or 3 shots. It's very, very, very strong. It's got good long range on it. This thing is really great as a counter sniper if you see a sniper up. Because sniping is a little bit hard in this game, you can use this thing to just pick off snipers at a distance. The standard iron sights aren't that bad, but I much prefer putting on that special AOG sight. It's just a lot better. It's going to provide you a little bit more zoom, a little bit more clarity when you're aiming down the sights. But it is a pretty good LMG. I actually prefer the Spitfire to the second LMG that we get, which is the one that they make a big deal about. This is the LMG that they actually talk about in the introduction video to the Titanfall 2 beta. Or beta. See, I said it again. Pre-alpha tech test, and that is the LStar. The LStar, you have to get to a certain level to unlock, but you will have it unlocked before level 10. And this thing is like an energy burst LMG. It kind of shoots like these red balls. But what's weird about the red balls is they have travel time. Most other weapons in this game, the bullet, you shoot it, and it like instantly impacts. There's no travel time. It pretty much just kills enemies instantly. LStar is not, it's not the same case with the LStar. The LStar you shoot, and you can actually see these red balls of energy come out, and you can kind of sidestep those balls of energy if you're fast enough. They fire out, and they actually have travel time. They fly through the air. They don't really pack that much of a punch, and the weird thing about this LStar is that you can't really reload it. It's got a magazine. It can shoot 35 balls before it overheats. But basically, the second you stop firing, you'll start unheating the weapon. Like you'll pop the thing or whatever, and it will cool down instantly. And that's a big problem with my particular game style, my particular play style, because when I use a weapon like this and I'm engaging an enemy at really long ranges, I will shoot a couple shots. Actually, the LStar is a weapon you're seeing in today's gameplay, but I will shoot a couple shots and then I will stop firing, and that's how I do it. When I'm firing at an enemy at really long ranges, I like to shoot in bursts. I like to go do 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 like as if I hold the trigger down, my accuracy is going to go all over the place. Whereas the LStar, the second you fire your first burst and then you take your finger off, the gun's going to kick because it does this weird reloading animation, quote unquote reloading animation, because it's cooling down. And if you keep firing it and it gets to the point where you run through your whole magazine, it will do this really long reload animation. So it's kind of a weird weapon. You can't fire it in bursts at long ranges, and it's really annoying to reload if you do overheat it. So it's one of those weapons where it's got a very selective playstyle. You're probably going to want to use it at close ranges where you don't have to worry about firing in bursts, where you can just hold down the trigger and just spray out those balls of energy and just kill your enemies. Moving into the sniper rifles, I've already talked about the D2 double take, but we'll cover it again really briefly here. But the Kraber-AP sniper is a heavy rifle. It's very, very slow until you start putting on the speed loader, the gun ready, all these other like kind of weapon traits or weapon perks. This weapon's going to be very slow, and it's going to be hard to use. It's a bolt action, so you fire one shot, then you got to pull a bolt, and then you shoot again. It's pretty slow, it's pretty tedious, but it is very powerful. Very, very powerful. I actually just captured a gameplay that I'm going to be using to talk about sniping in Titanfall 2 in general. And my very first kill, right off the top, I got a collateral. This thing is absolutely amazing. It's so powerful. It's like the Barrett 50 cal of this game. It's just, it punches through anything. It's just very strong, and it will down an enemy in one hit no matter what body part you hit him in. So that's what kind of balances out it being so slow, is that it's very, very strong. The D2 double take is a twin fire sniper rifle. I've already made a whole video talking about this particular gun. I will link it in the card in the top right corner. Now, the D2 double take is a double barrel sniper rifle. This thing's pretty crazy. It doesn't have as much damage as the Kraber, or the Kraber, whatever you want to call that thing, but it makes up for it because it actually shoots 2 shots at once, 2 side-by-side shots. You can get 2 side-by-side headshots. You can kill 2 enemies standing next to each other. It still has the range of the Kraber. It still has the accuracy of the Kraber. It's actually more accurate than the Kraber according to the statistics on the menus, and it's semi-automatic, so you can fire it as fast as you can go. It's really awesome. It's one of my favorite guns in the game so far. Shotguns, the Mastiff, we haven't unlocked yet. It unlocks at level 11, so we'll be covering that one next week. Same as the Grenadier. I don't know how to say that word. I think it's Grenadier. But the EPG one unlocks at level 15. That's the final unlock in the pre-alpha, so we're not going to be getting to that until next week as well. So moving into our secondary weapons, we've got the pistol, and the pistol is very powerful. I would highly recommend that you use the pistol if you're playing pilot versus pilot. And Titan, when you're playing with Titans, you probably want to use an anti-Titan weapon, but this pistol is very powerful. I would recommend that you use it with all your snipers, even use it with the car as a secondary for your SMG. But if you're playing pilot versus pilot, this is a pretty solid secondary to use. It looks like it has low damage, and it looks like it's not that great, but it has a pretty good magazine size. It fires very fast. It's fully automatic, and it can drop an enemy in 3 or 4 shots, especially when you add on your boosted weapons, or whatever that thing is called, when you actually get that score streak. You will, or I think it's a score streak. I don't know what you really call it. It's a boost anyways. But once you get that boost for advanced weapons, the pistol will do a lot of damage. It will knock down your enemies in 2 or 3 shots, and it's pretty accurate. You can use it at longer ranges. Last but not least, let's talk about our anti-Titan weapons. The LG97 Thunderbolt fires electricity bolts. This is one of the only weapons in the game that can actually run out of ammo. So that's kind of annoying, but it's pretty powerful. If you hit Titans directly, you can take them out in a couple shots, and it's definitely worth running if you're going to be a hardcore anti-Titan player. But apart from that, I wouldn't recommend it if you're going to use it for engaging enemy pilots. Not very effective, even though it's got like this lightning strike where if it flies past enemy pilots, it'll strike out and it'll get them, but it won't kill them. It's not that powerful. You really have to get a direct impact kill with it to get an awesome kill. So the charge rifle, on the other hand, the second anti-Titan weapon, is amazing. This thing is a pocket sniper, basically. It's a secondary sniper rifle. You can use it against enemy pilots. You can use it against Titans. When you're using it against Titans, you should probably aim for the sweet spots, but you can still do good enough damage with it, and it never runs out of ammo. You can completely just keep charging this thing all day long. It's a one-hit kill on enemy pilots if you charge it up and aim perfectly. No problem in destroying those enemy pilots, and it's really good. This is probably my secondary, my favorite secondary weapon in the game. It's always my go-to secondary if I'm trying really hard. The last and the least weapon in this game is the mag launcher. It's not that good. It's like this double, I guess it's kind of like a double shot grenade launcher. It shoots like 2 shots at once. Now what the thing is about these grenades is they'll actually be magnetic, and they'll suck in to a Titan. So if you fire them and there's a Titan nearby, they'll suck over to him and stick to him, but they do barely any damage. They're just very, very weak. It's very hard to shoot at enemy pilots because it actually doesn't stick to enemy pilots. It only sticks to enemy Titans, and that's really annoying. I've tried to use it against enemy Titans. I'm trying to level this thing up right now. It's the last thing I need to level up out of all of my weapons. And it's just so annoying. Like, if you shoot it at enemy pilots, it'll just bounce off the ground and fly way out of the way, and you won't get any hit markers with it. It's very weak. It takes like 3 hit markers just to kill an enemy pilot. And then you're supposed to use this thing against Titans. Like, really? It's not that good against Titans either. It's just not a really great weapon. I'd expect to see a buff on this thing in the future. But that is all of the weapons that we currently have access to in the pre-alpha. The first week of the pre-alpha is winding down right now. I believe it's going to finish at 9 p.m. Pacific time. So that's like 12 Eastern Standard Time, if I'm correct, like midnight. So this whole thing is going to be done for a week, and then it's coming back on the next weekend. Next weekend we're going to have access to it again, and I'm hoping that we're going to have access to level 11 through 15, and I'll be covering the weapons then. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, you found it useful. Maybe you're going to try out some weapons that you weren't currently using. Definitely make sure you try them out quickly though. The pre-alpha is about to end for the week. So hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, check out some of my other Titanfall videos by clicking on the card in the top right corner, and I'll see you guys on the next video, which may be coming out today. I think I'm going to do a Call of Duty video just to hype up the live stream that we're going to be doing tomorrow. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys there.